Stress is a part of our daily lives. Between work, family, and finances, things can get a little hectic. So how do we deal with stress? To help us answer that question, I am joined by Dr. Kyle Davis. He is a psychologist with St. Luke's. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm happy to be here. So the first thing we want people to think about are the actual stressors in their life. So they have to be able to identify the stressful situations, and that's really not too difficult for most people. One thing to be mindful, though, of are positive situations that cause stress in our life. So things like taking on new roles in a job, starting a new relationship, like buying a home. All these kinds of things are really positive events, but they add to our overall stress levels.
Okay.
So we want to be mindful of all the situations that can cause us stress. And number two, we want to be aware of how we experience stress. So like we were chatting before, you know, some people will have headaches when they're stressed. Some people will have tension. Personally, I carry stress between my shoulder blades, and so I'll notice more tension there. Other people will have gastrointestinal problems, you know, so stomach discomfort. Other times, you know, folks are noticing changes in their sleep patterns, changes in appetite. They may be overeating, undereating. So those are all things that we want people to be aware of so that they recognize when they're getting stressed, so that that will serve as a signal for them to do something differently to manage it.
And so how can you manage it? I'm sure there are a lot of ways to do it. You hear about, you know, yoga, exercise, meditation, those types of things.
Yeah, for sure. Those are all really helpful. And so we want people to think about how they're currently managing stress in their lives. And I kind of think about it in terms of helpful ways of managing stress versus harmful ways of managing stress, and so people need to be aware of how they do that. So an example of some of the unhelpful ways of managing stress, some people turn to alcohol, nicotine, other substances to help them manage stress. Even food, you know, people will eat for comfort, you know, and then that can cause more problems later on. So we want to decrease the harmful behaviors and increase the helpful behaviors, and I think you're right on in terms of exercise, eating healthy, making time for sleep, which is something that usually goes out the window when people get really stressed. And then also, I think really importantly, making use of people's social networks. So a lot of times people will isolate more whenever they're more stressed, try to take things on by themselves. And one of the most helpful things they could be doing would be talking to their friends and family about what's going on for them.
And usually friends and family can help you laugh about something too, you know.
Yes.
That's always a good medicine.
Yes, they can probably find some humor in what you're dealing with.
Right, and there's always help. If you can't figure it out yourself, you can always go and talk with somebody about it.
Yeah, and so that's where folks like myself can come in, and so, you know, consulting with a mental health professional can be really helpful. At St. Luke's, we have the psychiatric wellness services, which can be helpful to folks. And then also just talking to your primary care provider about stress in your life and seeing if they can make any referrals for you is a great place to start when people feel too overwhelmed to manage it on their own.
Right. It's good to know, because sometimes you want to reach out to family and friends, but you don't want to. You really want to talk to somebody who doesn't know you, and
people they don't want to burden their family and friends, you know, because oftentimes they're really stressed out too, and so having an objective person to turn to be able to talk about what's going on, and then get some new ideas about how to manage stress or other things that are going on can be very, very helpful.
Yeah, some great advice. Thanks so much,
no
Dr.
problem.
Davis, for being here. I appreciate it. You can find some more information on our website, ktvb.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.